trip on my spot when I earned it. Y'all lacking discernment. They probably gon' talk about tonight at the next sermon. Difference is you do it on purpose, and me, I do it for a purpose. Just know as long as I'm up, that it's never your turn in. Look, they must have forgot that I'm my daddy's son. And if I'm after them, they have to run. Okay, you had to run. Difference is we the ones that run it. Discipline is the difference between who got it and who won it. They rather count me out than count me in. Always count on me, y'all boys counterfeit. Ain't rolling with the punches, boy, I counted it. Y'all really judging me and I can't honor it. See, I was born in the ashes, so of course I rise. I'm in that state of mind for real, y'all just borderline. I wake up to look inside my daughter's eyes and realize I'm immortalized. Born in the ashes, so of course I rise.
It's diamonds on my gold.
They must have forgot that I'm my daddy's son. We the ones that run it. Born in the ashes, so of course I rise.
It's diamonds on my gold.
They must have forgot that I'm my daddy's son.
Fighting for my life.
We the ones that run it.
Yeah, I've been under fire so long, but heat made a shine out of cold. It's diamonds on my gold. Loyalty take a toll on my soul, but I can't fold. Red snow made my heart cold. Up close on his clothes like I'm trying to scan a barcode. Demon hit the gas pipe, sound like pop smoke. I wasn't nervous or nothing, I seen it locked in on. Come from where a hot stove can heat up your house cold. Came back tobacco, but head of his household. Pack chrome, still face, they all say he act grown. Survivors of a tap phone, build up his backbone. You gotta know the trap code, don't call to the pack gone. Fighting for my life, refuse to end up a sad song. Yeah. Fighting for my life, refuse to end up a sad song. Yeah. Start.
Don't you stand there for me, don't you stand there for me, don't you stand there for me, black and teardrop.
Hey. Why would I ever trip on my spot when I earned it? Y'all lacking discernment. They probably gon' talk about tonight at the next sermon. Difference is you do it on purpose, and me, I do it for a purpose. Just know as long as I'm up, that it's never your turn in. Look, they must have forgot that I'm my daddy's son. And if I'm after them, they have to run. Okay, you had to run. Difference is we the ones that run it. Discipline is the difference between who got it and who won it. They rather count me out than count me in. Always count on me, y'all boys counterfeit. Ain't rolling with the punches, boy, I counted it. Y'all really judging me and I can't honor it. See, I was born in the ashes, so of course I rise. I'm in that state of mind for real, y'all just borderline. I wake up to look inside my daughter's eyes and realize I'm immortalized. Born in the ashes, so of course I rise.
It's diamonds on my gold.
They must have forgot that I'm my daddy's son. We the ones that run it. Born in the ashes, so of course I rise.
It's diamonds on my gold.
They must have forgot that I'm my daddy's son.
Fighting for my life.
We the ones that run it.
Yeah, I've been under fire so long, but heat made a shine out of cold. It's diamonds on my gold. Loyalty take a toll on my soul, but I can't fold. Red snow made my heart cold. Up close on his clothes like I'm trying to scan a barcode. Demon hit the gas pipe, sound like pop smoke. I wasn't nervous or nothing, I seen it locked in on. Come from where a hot stove can heat up your house cold. Came back tobacco, but head of his household. Pack chrome, still face, they all say he act grown. Survivors of a tap phone, build up his backbone. You gotta know the trap code, don't call to the pack gone. Fighting for my life, refuse to end up a sad song. Yeah. Fighting for my life, refuse to end up a sad song. Yeah. Start.
Put me on top, city on lock, they like when he gon' drop. He done shit the game up when he gon' pop. Yeah, they know the name, but is he gon' stop? Back to back, running up the whole summer. On the road, I'ma take the whole glow from him. We ain't had enough. Speaking down, but they know who coming up. And I'm still on my way. But the top don't look too far for me. Never caught off, not one day. And I'm still on my way. Still on my way. Yeah, I'm just greedy like Chubbs with a hustle like Pooh. Trying to get it out the mud like what I'm supposed to do. It was in my blood, my family even knew. 22 I blew, I owe everything to true. Something out of nothing, that's a cold situation. Know they probably hot, but they froze in the faces. I didn't even rush, I was chosen but patient. Feeling like rust, I went gold out the basement. Get it by the cases, wearing an eagle chains by the dozen. Told gang that I love them, it's a whole celebration. Barely getting started, but still gotta embrace it. When it's from the bottom, it's a different foundation. Yeah, it's a different bag waiting on the other side. I just wanna live in salvation. We ain't had enough. Speaking down, but they know who coming up. And I'm still on my way. But the top don't look too far from me. Never caught off, not one day. And I'm still on my way. Still on my way. And I'm still on my way. But the top don't look too far from me.
No, the top don't look too far.
Never caught off, not one day.
Never caught up, not one day.
But I'm still on my way.
What's good? Let's do a sound check real fast. The mic's been off for a few days. I just want to make sure that these cords are still working since it's so cold outside. And I just got back. I'm in the natty. I don't know how y'all did it. They said that it was colder the last few days than it is now. And I'm gonna tell you something. I almost didn't come on today. I'm still shivering. I've been cold since the plane hit the Midwest. I was cold on the flight. I landed in CVG, and when I got there, I instantly got sick. You'll hear me coughing, excuse me, you'll hear me coughing and sneezing throughout this program. And I'm telling you, my sinuses, I instantly got sick as soon as I hit CVG. Plane landed, it was on the terminal, it was on the runway coming in, and I instantly just start freezing on the inside and start sniffling. You know, I have sinuses and I don't sneeze a lot, cough a lot. You know, I get this sinus drip and it makes me cough. So pardon me, I'm here though, and I'm here for it. Welcome, thank you for being here. Somebody said the sound is off. Is the sound off? Is it my lips are only moving now? If my lips are not moving with the sound, back out and come back in. No, I don't, Roz. I got moving from, going into these different environment type things. I don't know exactly what they call it, but my sinuses act up right away. And I really look, true story. Let me give you a true story real fast before we get into anything. Here's what happened. Y'all know I wear hoodies in the wintertime, summertime, all year round, especially in Florida. I wear hoodies when it's 80 degrees outside because of my sinuses. When I go inside to the air conditioning, I get this sinus drip, so I get kind of sick, right? And I get the coughing and a little bit of, congestion. That's normal for me. So I wear hoodies to bring the temperature back to where I need to be when I'm in the house in Florida. So I haven't owned the moral. Where I'm going with this is, if you are a friend of mine, oh man, shit, I ain't on that. If you're a friend of mine and we go way back, it's been a long time since you've seen me with a coat on. You guys are not gonna believe this. I landed in CVG. If you've ever seen me wear a coat other than when I was a little boy and we played like on the playground or something, that don't count. I'm talking about as a grown ass man. I haven't owned a coat in 10 years. I don't do winters in Cincinnati or in cold climates, but I had to stop off and get one today. Yes, sir. That's why I still got it on. I have not owned a coat in 10 years or better. And when I landed in CVG, I could feel it. As soon as we hit the damn runway, as soon as we landed, I was already freezing. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop off. What is that? Florence Mall. So I stopped off at Florence Mall and went to one of the stores there and got a coat that I could wear that I guess is gonna last me for the rest of my life, and I'll leave it at the Cincinnati house. I don't really wear coats, so this is it. This is my first coat in 10 years, probably more than that, but I'm gonna just count it for 10 years. So I am going to this is not something that I am happy about. I don't want to have to wear a coat. Let me explain to you why I'm even home in the first place, because Cincinnati will always be my home. A lot of you guys know that I have two daughters, of course, two beautiful daughters. My daughter Randy and my daughter Trinity, and both of them are attending college. Where my oldest daughter Randy is now finished with the university. I'm sorry, with the Ohio State University, the Buckeyes. And she finished this year, but she just finished up this semester where it's pretty much done. As soon as the semester lets out, she's pretty much done. Her classes now for this semester are virtual, so she don't really have to go into a class setting. So she's doing it via computer, So she's done, and here's what's going on. She's applied to medical school, dentry, for dental, and it takes 8 to 9 months for the next for the entry of the dental school. So her medical school doesn't start for almost close to a year. So what we've decided to do, and I had nothing to do with this, I had absolutely nothing to do with this. We decided that she was going to move back home, in the sense that she really wanted to go to Florida, but I didn't want her to go to Florida because um, for my daddy personal reasons, I didn't want her down there by herself. Not in my house, not like that. It's just too much fun. So I didn't want her to do that. So she was like, okay, well I can live in Columbus, but I have to get a job and this and that. Well, you won't be able to afford the rent in Columbus if you get a job, and I don't want my daughter stuck in some type of job paying bills. So I gave her one shot behind curtain number one. Damn it. What a father should do. I gave her one shot, and I said it to her. I said it to her mom. I let them know. I said, this is what you have. This is an opportunity for you. You got 8 to 9 months before medical school starts. She has two choices. She can either go to Vanderbilt, which is in Nashville, or she can go back up to Ohio State. And then there's a couple others that she's saying she's considering it, but I know she's not going to go there. She don't want to go that far. She don't want to go all the way to California to go to school. That's just too far away from home, when she's still a homebody type of girl. She's 20, 22. She's 22. No, she's 23. Just turned 23 in December, but she's still a baby at heart. You know what I'm saying? I don't think she wants to go out to California by herself. We don't have any family out there, so she would be out there on her own. Okay. That being said, I gave her curtain number one. I said, curtain number one is this. You can move back home until med school starts, which is 8 to 9 months. And you can stay home, rent free, stack your money, because she does have a job lined up with a dental office. So it's a pretty damn good job. I mean, I'm like, damn, they start out like that, but that all being said, you can come home, live for free, stack your money. So when you're in med school, you can have, a nest of money there, and you'll have some money to do some things that you need to do while you're in med school. You might end up in California. I don't know. You might end up in Nash. I don't know where you're going to end up. So at least have some money where you don't have to call me all the damn time. This is an opportunity for you to stack your money for 8 to 9 months. And I won't hold you. We won't execute the plan that I had for you when you get your job and setting you up with with your accounts and things of that nature. We'll let that slide until you graduate from med school. So my thing was, come on home, stack your paper, and be ready when you get out there. So she agreed to gate or door number one. She agreed to that. I don't think she wants to. I remember the day that I dropped my baby off. I remember the day I came on live. I was so proud. I was my first daughter to go off to school, drop her off at Ohio State, move her in her dorm. I went live. It was an episode of Wyatt Family Live or something like that. I called it, and I went live, and it feels like it was yesterday, folks. It feels like it was yesterday. We took pictures, we did the video, and here I am sitting here today, going up to get her like on Wednesday. It may be Wednesday or Thursday, but we have till the end of the month because our lease is up at the end of the month. And we have to the end of the month. So it's not really a rush, but I wanted to schedule it to go up during the week. So all the U-Haul trucks, and I still remember pulling out of this sucker when we took her up to school in a U-Haul truck. It's going to be really crazy to load a U-Haul truck up there and come back to Cincinnati and unload the truck back into my home. That's going to be a little different. All right. But the good thing is, when we were loading the truck here in Cincinnati to go to Ohio State, we didn't have no armor. When we go up there to Ohio State and load that truck, we load that sucker with a piece of armor, and it's called a bachelor's degree. She obtained an associate's and a bachelor's degree, and she's been accepted to several different medical schools, and she has a choice of where she wants to go. I couldn't be a prouder father. I couldn't be a prouder father. She kept her nose clean. She stayed out of trouble. We didn't have many issues. The hardest problem that I had with my daughter when she was up at Ohio State was she would leave something at home sometimes that she needed for class, like her laptop. She forgot it at the house one time, and I had a freaking fit, because if you just do something that minor, imagine if something happened for real. I'm gonna be angry. If Daddy tripped because he had to meet me halfway from Cincinnati to Ohio to Columbus, shit, my father gonna lose his mind if he find out that I wrecked the car. He find out I was drunk out somewhere or doing drugs or something. My father lose his mind. That's what I want her to be like. Now, you can get mad at me, you can say whatever you want to say, whatever you want to do, but I've never whooped my child in my life. I've always used the Jedi mind trick. I've always used the don't disappoint your daddy shit. Get mad if you want to, but I ain't never had to send my daughter out for no switch. My daughter has never faced the abuse that I faced as a child, because to be honest with you, it's not really necessary. I know some of y'all, yes it is. Yes it is. I got to beat my son ass. You got to beat your son ass. You got to beat your daughter ass for what? For them to listen to you? Wow. Don't get mad. Don't judge me. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying that's kind of our children, for them to listen to us. Did it work? Did it really work? Did you not? How many ass whoopings did you get in life? Ask yourself, how many whoopings? I'm getting hot in here. I'm in the studio. How many whoopings have you had in your life? How many whoopings have you had in your life? Huh? How many whoopings have you had in your life? Somebody answer that for me. Somebody put it in the screen. Somebody put in the screen how many ass whoopings or how many butt whoopings they've gotten in their life. I can probably tell you, I can count on two hands, and probably I would need one of your hands and your cousin saying, I would need several hands to be able to count that for me. So ass whoopings don't really work. Because if they worked, you would only need one whooping. Just be honest. There's a whole lot of people sitting in the penitentiary that got their ass whooped as a kid. It didn't work. It didn't work. It might have worked for those that got it done one time. I shouldn't say that it don't work. I should say that it's not really, in my opinion. Now, y'all know I'm an opinionated person. This is just my opinion. I just don't think butt whoopings happen. I mean, I don't think it's the thing that's absolutely work. Emmanuel Livingston says, I'm happy that your children didn't need that, but all children aren't the same. I know that's my point. We got to find another way to engage with our children than to think that capital punishment or some type of physical punishment is the way that you make them do what you want them to do. I mean, that's not the answer either. Because if it was the answer, then a bunch of kids that was getting their butts whooped would never get in trouble if it worked. And think of the source of that. Think of the history that comes along with whooping people because they don't obey or they do something wrong. Think of where that comes from. Think of that. And I know whooping didn't work for me. I didn't turn out the way I am because I got ass whoopings. And anybody that's sitting here on this podcast who think the reason why they turned out the way they are because you're good and this and that is because my mama whooped my ass. That's not the reason. That's not it. You turned out the way you are because of the choices that you made, the continued choice. So do I believe a whooping is supposed to happen sometimes? Maybe. But if you are one of those parents that constantly whoop your kid, you need to reevaluate if these type of punishments are really working. That's not the topic of the day. I thought I'd just put it out there. I'm a proud father today. Yeah, my daughter's coming home Wednesday, Thursday. We're moving her back in. I know it's supposed to be raining and cold here in Cincinnati. So, we playing this by ear. I got a whole week. But what I don't want to happen is I don't want that final week in Cincinnati to end up being off the chain cold or something. And then I don't have a choice but to move in the snow or whatever. Move her back here home in the snow or whatever. That all being said, let's move on. Speaking of kids getting beat, let's reverse it a little bit. I read a little article today. I didn't read it in depth. I just read the title and then I read the first paragraph. No, a couple paragraphs. And it was saying kids down at Washington Park are beating up people in the park. It's funny. A little while ago, I told y'all that those things was happening downtown. Told y'all those things was happening in downtown Cincinnati, and they go unreported. There's police reports on it because the people call the police. Police show up to the scene. There's a lot of crimes going on in areas downtown that don't go reported. You don't hear it on the news. You don't talk about it. It's almost like crime has slowed down, but it hasn't. And for whatever reason, y'all don't really want to talk about it. I don't know if it's the accountability thing. I don't know if you don't want to say, well, why aren't these kids in school? I don't know if you want to say, well, where are the parents of these kids? I don't know if you want to say, well, where's city council? Why aren't they talking about our juvenile problem? You already have a school system that has a truancy problem. So if these kids aren't in school, where are they? If these kids are not in school, where are they? Somebody answer that one for me. And we know they're not going to school. We're not talking about all the kids, but we're talking about the bad ones. And it's just amazing to me. It's silence. And then we wonder, we call the problems that are going to exist here for those same kids, we call it gun violence. We call it gun violence. We put the gun in front of the decision. We call it gun violence. You don't call it bad kid problems, drop of the ball with parent problems, and the kids out here wilding. You don't hold the parents accountable. You do behind the scenes. You just don't say it out loud. But then you want in front of other people who might judge you, and you're afraid to tell the all this gun violence. And then you say your senators or your politicians. I don't want to be specific. Your politicians blame it on, well, if people lock their guns up in their car, we won't have this problem. So let's put money into buying lock boxes. Let's do a state-funded incentive plan. Let's just take taxpayer money and dump it into something that we can give to people for free. And don't even address the fact, why do we have children that are breaking in cars in the first place? Not even piece of the conversation. Not even trying to tackle that issue. We got a gun problem. We got a break in the car problem. And when you leave your gun in there, now they done stole the car and the gun. We even had a suggestion that they need to put driver's ed back in the high schools. So when these kids steal the cars, they'll at least know how to drive and not wreck. Well, let me just address that logic for a hot second. The kids out here stealing cars ain't going to school, so driver's ed ain't on their agenda. It's not an elective. They don't go to school. Kids out here beating up people in the park. Now here's a secret. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that that's unfamiliar territory. I know how that is. I grew up in an area where it was kind of fun to throw a rock at the wino. It was kind of fun to throw something at somebody and get chased. It was kind of fun to do that. I was one of them type of kids that seen it, was part of it a few times, but I ain't never beat nobody down to the point where we stole, we were doing, there's a thing that you do. You tag somebody and you make them chase you or you make them cuss you out or something. We used to do that as kids. But we never beat anybody down to the point where they were going to the hospital. We never done anything like that. It was never those type of beat downs. We would say some things and make the wino cuss us out or act like he gonna chase us or something like that. We just needed, it was wreck for us. But the violence was never there. We never just pushed it to the level of beating somebody to a punishing pulp. We just never did that. All right, so I just don't know why a lot of talk is not going on. And then when they do talk about it, they got all these other ways of explaining it versus what it really is. That burns me up. All right, so check it out. I said the kids are beating up people in downtown Washington Park. 3 kids jumped the old man in the park. I don't know, what's going on with that. I'm sure those kids will get caught. I'm sure they're going to punch the wrong one. But I know what's going to happen as soon as the police get a hold of these kids or y'all see them do something and the police see them do something. The first thing some of y'all going to yell is they don't need to be doing them kids like that. You ain't got to hold him. You ain't got to punish. You ain't got to do that to him like that. Yeah, the Monday morning quarterback activists. At least we got people like Iris Rowley that'll go find these boys. She knew that they was doing some crazy stuff up on the corner, selling water and making some scenes and doing some things that wasn't right. She knew it. I ain't gonna sit here and try to act like Iris didn't know. Iris Rowley, I said her name. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that Iris Rowley didn't know that them little boys was up there wilding. She might not have said anything about it, but at least she went up there and tried to pull them out of their wild ways and tried to make what they were doing into an entrepreneurship movement. It's a damn shame it always take a black woman to do what us men should be doing. It's a damn shame that we always got to look to our sisters to run our neighborhoods. We get a black man as a representative, but it's always the woman that's controlling things. It's always the lady. She's always telling the man how to move in short and tall grass. It's amazing. Well, y'all know I just came in from Florida, so let me just say this. For those that hate Florida so much, let me let the NAACP know something that they probably already know. NAACP and who is it? Perm in the suit, Al Sharpton. Let me give you guys an idea. Let me tell you what's going on right now and give you an idea of what I think should happen at this point. Ron DeSantis in the Republican Party, who was running for president, has dropped out of the race. He's gone. Okay, so now you can lift your travel ban. You can get up off of Ron DeSantis. You can stop calling him all these, say that that they're not banning books anymore. Because the only reason why y'all had Ron DeSantis in your mind is because you thought he was going to be the front runner next to Donald Trump to run for president from the Republican Party side. And I told y'all a long time ago, the only reason why they mentioning Ron DeSantis and Florida and put the travel ban on Florida and talk so bad about Florida, where the black kids are thriving in education in Florida, look it up. The only reason why you were saying all those bad things about Ron DeSantis and Florida is because he was on the presidential ticket. You didn't think one time you were stopping black entrepreneurship in Florida. You didn't think of that not one time. You just ran with the easily influenced, the emotional talk. I didn't heard ads, PSAs, talk about how bad Florida was. Them same folks won't say a damn thing about Chicago. And you got black people on YouTube, black people on podcasts talking about how horrible it is to be in Chicago, Denver, Arizona, Phoenix, to be specific. How these people are taking over their cities, utilizing all their funds for immigrants. And it's amazing to me that Al Sharpton and nobody else, NAACP, none of them has said anything about this. That's amazing to me. But damn it, put a travel ban on Florida and make Ron DeSantis the bad, evil ass Republican white man. Because he's making it tough for black people in Florida. What are they doing in Chicago? The hypocrisy is real, y'all. The hypocrisy is real. I want to give a shout out, since I spoke earlier about Ohio State. I want to say this real fast. Shout out to the Ohio State ladies basketball team. Boom. They were ranked 18th over the weekend, and we played Iowa. What's that girl, Caitlin Clark? Whew. She can shoot. She can shoot. She ended up with like 48 on their ass. They only scored 92 points. She scored half their points, damn near. What's that, like 46%? You know what I'm saying? Caitlin Clark is a beast. The Ohio State arena was sold out. Ladies basketball, shout out to y'all. But Ohio State Buckeyes, we pulled that one out. Beat the number 2 ranked school in the country. We got some ballers at Ohio State. We got some ballers. So shout out to the Ohio State Buckeyes girls basketball team. Shout out to the gymnastic team. They went up against Michigan over the weekend. Shout out to them. I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch the whole thing. My daughters are into that. I kind of exited because the football games came on, so I couldn't really. My daughters actually went, okay, to the basketball game, and then they went over right across campus, and then they went over to the gymnastic meet against Michigan. So they had a great weekend, Buckeye weekend. My other daughter's is up. She's still up in Belmont. She moved. I don't want to start on her. Oh, my baby is a throw the bathwater out with the baby type of kid. I don't know where she got that from. She just moved out of her dorm into a different dorm over the weekend because her and her roommate, she couldn't. I told my daughter my daughter's always had her own room. So a year before she was going off to college, when she was in high school, I was trying to prep my baby that everybody don't live like you, babe. Like you gotta make your bed up. You're gonna be around people that don't make their bed up. They don't put their dishes up. You might experience that when you go off to school. She took everything I said, didn't even pay any attention to it. I mean, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in her getting into her dorm, this school year, she was already ready to go. She was ready to check out. I want to leave the school. Why? My roommate make too much noise. She smacks when she eats. She bites her nails. The bathroom, you got to understand, I can agree with. They have 2 girls per dorm room, and then there's a middle. DC, you might know something about this. You have a daughter in school as well. I don't know how your dorms are set up, but there's 2 girls per room. And then there's a middle bathroom, and then there's another dorm room on the other side. So there's 4 girls that share one bathroom. 2 different rooms, share one bathroom. She couldn't stand that. Because you're going to, listen, there are some very filthy people in this world. They're not accustomed to bathing like you do. Had to tell my daughter that. And when they do bathe, they may not clean up the bathroom like you clean up the bathroom. And personalities are going to be different. Some girls are into boys. Some girls are not into boys yet. Some girls like to party. Some girls don't like to party. Moral to the story is my daughter had a serious road bump. And she had to understand that, when you roommate with people and you're in the university, when you're in college environment, you have to learn how to adjust. You have to learn to adjust. Well, she moved out over the weekend. Instead of leaving the school, she didn't drop out of school. She was ready to go. I can't do this. I'll go home. I'm going to get to school at home. I'll take online classes. I just want to come home. I don't want to do this anymore. So let's problem solve a little bit, shorty. Let's just do this. Why don't you put your name, talk to your what RA, talk to the RA, and tell the RA you want to try to maybe put in for a transfer. She did that. Now she's in an apartment, a 4-bedroom apartment, and each girl has their own room. You see what I'm saying? Each girl has their own room, and then they share a kitchen. They all share the bathroom. That's a better environment. She can sleep at night in her own room, shut the door, and have her own space. That's a great way to do it. So don't always throw the baby out with the bathwater. We just got to learn how to, how to overcome some of these problems by problem solving. It's just got to learn how to, what are my options? What all can we do other than just leave? What's there? What are our options? What's behind gate 1, gate 2, gate 3? Pick a gate. That all being said, I'm through. Thank you for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Thank you for the win over the weekend, young ladies. I've had the opportunity to meet a lot on the team because, I go out and shoot bass. My daughter's cool with a couple of the players. They were freshmen all together at one point. One of the young ladies is from Cincinnati, so that always opens up the door of conversation, and we had a great time. When I go up, I always buy them pizza. They call me Mr. Wyatt, and I love it. I can't wait for one of them to go to the WNBA like my little girl from Princeton High School has done. She went to Princeton High School, went to Ohio State University. Now she plays for the Indiana to WNBA. That all being said, let's move on. Let me see. California. Have y'all heard what's going on in California? I haven't talked to Drop in a while. I wonder what's going on with Drop. California has a new thing going on, speaking of sports. California has this thing going on, guys, where the governor of California, with some former NBA players, NFL players, are trying to end contact football for youth. They're trying to end youth football in California, the contact football, putting on the shoulder pads and the helmets. Now, let me ask you guys something. Who agrees with that? Who agrees that football is too dangerous for kids? Anybody? Anybody say, yeah, I agree with that. I agree. Football is too dangerous. It's too dangerous for kids. Anybody? I'll give you my opinion and let me see if we agree with this or not. I just want to see if anybody agrees with it before I move on. Anybody agree that tackle football, is too rough for kids? LaDonna says me. Alethea, what's up, sis? What up, Donna? She said, I don't think Little League helps in our city. Sorry. Well, that's not a Little League problem. That's a city problem. That's these dudes acting a fool. That's their problem. They don't know how to treat the kids. They doing some different stuff. I'm tired of praising coaches that are idiots. I can't rock with coaches that are using our children. They gambling on them and doing all that old dumb shit. That's crazy. Jason Dockery. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me see. Let me go back and see a couple things. Crystal Smith, what's up? She says it can be dangerous. Mama Birch said football is dangerous, period. Jason Dockery says, I agree. Linda Reed says, yes, I agree. Daryl Carpenter, that's because these youth coaches don't know how to coach tackling techniques. I used to be a youth football coach. There's a lot of truth in that, DC. Ross says it's like apple pie. I don't see the correlation there, Ross. Are you talking to me? Fame says kids should play size appropriate football. There you go. Let me get on it. Hold on. Let me Jason disagrees, Wyatt. Trennis Brown, what's up, Black Papa? He says, y'all tripping. Can I give you my opinion? A few can come back in. Shauna Wright Hill says kids can probably get concussions that won't damage their mental growth. That would damage their mental growth. All right, I'm going to give you my opinion, and some will agree and some will disagree. And that's what makes the world go round, and that's what makes us great over here at Wyatt Live. Ross says all sports can be dangerous. Most of them are. Most of them do have a level of danger. Let me give you my opinion. coming from playing all the sports damn near as a kid. In the boys club, we played basketball, football, baseball, soccer. I didn't do too well in soccer. Soccer was one that we just didn't do in the hood, and we tried it. Me, Jermaine Britton, and Jamel Britton, the Brittons, we tried it. Got into a fight with freshman boys club and all that. So we tried it. We gave it a try in the hood. Soccer wasn't for us. Okay. But we had boxing. We had a whole lot of different things growing up that were contact sports. Let me explain something to you. This is my opinion, okay? From the age of 6 years old to like 11 in contact football with the football helmets on and shoulder pads, if these kids are being taught properly, I don't think that there's a problem with contact football. I just don't think there's a problem. And the reason why I say that, and some might not agree, and that's okay, just hear me out. The reason why is because 6 to 11-year-olds don't hit hard enough. Impact hitters. They're not the type of kid, those moments are pretty much set up, and shoulder pads are pretty much set up to be able to absorb the type of contact that a 6, 7, or 8, 9, 10-year-old can dish out. I think, quite frankly, the 6 through the 11th-year-olds, and people like Fame who referee football, he might agree with me. He may disagree. I don't know. But 6-year-olds and 11-year-olds don't hit nearly as hard as little boys that are like 12 and 13, going into that, getting that teenage muscle. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's a different game. The impact of a 6-year-old or 11-year-old is not the same. They can handle that. Now, broken arm, broken leg, that can happen in flag football. That can happen in flag football. It happens in baseball, and that's not even a contact sport. You can round second going in the third and twist your ankle and break your ankle. You know what I'm saying? But in football, the equipment is built for that low level of impact. You don't have a lot of 6-year-olds that's out there punishing kids. They hit harder than maybe the average kid. They might have one out there. But he ain't no concussion ass delivering ass child. I don't think that. I haven't seen it yet. But there's always a team out there. I ain't gonna lie. I played on a couple from downtown. We always had a kid on our team. He ain't had no business on there. We had to get fake. He had to go get somebody else's birth certificate and all that old shit, bring it to the thing. That's why they have weight requirements in football. It's so there won't be kids, not too big for this age group or something of that nature. It makes sense. But I don't have a problem with kids 6 to 11, right at that 11-year-old range. I don't have a problem with them playing contact football. But when you get to 12, 13 on up, junior high and high school, yeah, it could be a problem. It could be a problem because those little boys are getting in the weight room at that point. They're learning techniques. They're learning how to hit, and they have the strength to concuss somebody. They do have the strength at that age. So, but at that age, you also have the mental capacity to be able to help yourself from being in a position of being concussed. But Little League football, for them to take it away from little kids, I just don't think personally, I don't think this is the right move to do. If you get these kids in the right organizations and they're learning technique and they're learning how to tackle properly, they're learning how to break their falls, they're learning how not to get hit a certain way, I think that you wouldn't have the problems that you have today. We know in some neighborhoods and some teams, and some leagues, there's a lot at risk, from money to hometown pride. So I just don't know if it's a good idea. I think they need to evaluate some of the programs. I played a little bit of football growing up as a kid. I can't remember ever having a concussion, but I do remember having a concussion in baseball because I got hit in the head with a baseball one time with a foul ball. I remember a foul tip hit me in the head, and I damn near passed out. And it was hot outside, and I was dizzy and daisy. I was dizzy. Thank God it was toward the end of the game, because when the game was over, I went to the car with my mother and I sat in the front seat. She had the air conditioning on, and all I could think of is I'm about to go to sleep. And instead of me going to sleep, I turned the air conditioning, the things directly on me with that cold air, and it kind of woke me up. But now, as a grown ass man thinking back on it, not just now, but before, thinking back on it, I had a concussion. I know what a concussion feels like. I had a couple in high school playing ball. So I know what a concussion feels like. And I know that's the same feel that I had when I was a little boy playing baseball. So I don't think that it's fair that these kids are going to be neglected of having a contact sport of like football. I just think that they need to pay attention to the leagues, pay attention to the coaching staff, pay attention to the motives of why the kids are even out there playing in the first place. And I think we'll have a better situation going on. That's my thing on that. Let me ask y'all a quick question. Let me ask you a quick, and hit me up in my DM and let me know if you agree or disagree. I'm not going to lose any sleep for those that disagree with me. And I'm not going to have a long conversation with those that do agree with me. It's just my opinion. Daryl Carpenter said we used to play Killer Man with no equipment, hard hitting football, and we turned out just fine. Yes, we did. We played Killer Man every day. In the Faye, we played Killer Man with shit everywhere I live. We played every day. Matter of fact, on Williamsburg, the field was right outside my front door. And see, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was kind of a shy kid, but I could play some ball because I had, I could catch well. Baseball was my sport. So if you convert all the skills, the skill set of baseball, if you bring that over to football, you could be a pretty good, accurate, you have a lot of coordination. Baseball requires a lot of coordination. I was a baseball player. My good coordination made me play football. The neighborhood made me play football. So I could throw well. I had a strong arm and I could catch everything. So the thing is, growing up the way we grew up, you was a punk ass if you didn't play football. You couldn't be in our neighborhood. You couldn't live in the Fay apartments. I won't use downtown because downtown is the first place we used to get equipment from Porter. I shouldn't tell, but the dudes would steal equipment from Porter Junior High and bring it home. And we had shoulder pads and helmets and all that old shit downtown. And we thought we was playing real football. So the older kids would put us in the football stuff and draw numbers on us and all that, on the shirts and all that. We'd be out in the yards playing football with equipment on, and nobody had equipment. My grandmother went to Cook's Sporting Goods when I was a little older kid, or young little kid. She went to Cook's Sporting Goods and got me a Houston. I thought she was, I just wanted some football equipment. And she went in Cook's Sporting Goods and bought a packet where you get the helmet, the shoulder pads, and like a 7-piece pad set for your legs, thigh pads and all that. So she came back with one of those for me. And the helmet, I was disappointed because the helmet ended up being the Houston Oilers. And I'm like, the Houston Oilers? What? I'm a Cincinnati Bengal. Excuse me, y'all. My shirt is messy. I'm a Cincinnati Bengal fan, not no damn Houston Oilers fan. I would never tell my grandmother that because I'm sure she did what she had to do to get me that helmet set. So I get the Houston Oilers helmet, and I'm a little shy to go outside with it on because it's the Houston Oilers. It ain't the steel curtain Steelers. It ain't the Cincinnati Bengals with the nice stripes. It wasn't none of that. It was the Houston Oilers. Hold on 1 second. It's my daughter texting. It was the Houston Oilers. So I walk outside with this pretty ass white helmet, pretty ass everything. Everything was nice looking. It wasn't, the steel curtain. The Steelers was them boys that hit hard and they just had the dirty uniforms. I wanted to be that. I didn't want to be. I already got enough lip from everybody from being clean. And, I come outside with the Houston Oilers helmet in between my arm, and I'm walking to the thing, and I put it on, and we going out to the field to play, and all the older dudes, Jimmy Rogers, Jimmy Phelps, Greg Phelps, and all them looking at me. Darnell Lavender, Jimmy and them, they all looking at me like, damn. Oh shit, we got the Houston Oilers. Now, once it was accepted to the OGs, once it was accepted and the old heads seen it, my older friends, once they seen it, shit, it was game on. Hell yeah, I got the Houston Oilers, and you know what I'm saying? I got a battery put in my back. I used to play quarterback, so it was like he Warren Moon, the black quarterback, he Warren Moon, that type of shit. I don't even know if Warren Moon was out then, but I was the black quarterback with the pretty ass Houston Oilers helmet. And if y'all know anything about Houston Oilers colors, if y'all know anything about their colors, they was dope. They had the powder blue with the, Houston or the Oiler helmet. They was dope. I used to love getting dirty. That all being said, man, we would always get we would always take, the equipment and all that and play outside. We had a great time. That all being said, it was the best time of my life. Best time of my life. All right, so look, I had a quick question about home, Cincinnati. Now, I don't know if kids, is it me? Is it me? But are kids lazy today? Physically lazy. Physically lazy. Like, don't want to go outside and get no money lazy. Like, I was talking to my neighbor. I have a neighbor here in Cincinnati that him and I get along real well. When I'm gone, he watches my home when he's gone, because he lives in New York. He lives in New York, but he's from Cincinnati, whatever, blah, blah, blah. When he's gone, I pay attention to his home. When I'm gone, my family's gone or whatever, he pays attention to our home. He keeps an eye on it. I keep an eye on him. Fair exchange, no robbery. I come home and I see driveways and streets. The streets are all clear of snow. The streets are clear of snow because I live in an area where we pay. We have an association in our division, right? So our association pays for street cleaning and things of that nature, but they don't do sidewalk nor driveway. Okay, so I'm looking at some of the homes on my way in, and I'm like, damn, I had mine done, so when I come home, I didn't have to do any snow. I'm not going to push snow. The same company that does my lawn care, they do snow removal and all that. So he called me and said, do you want us to go by? Long story short, I said, yes, please take care of it. I get home, and I'm one of the only homes that has his driveway done and the street, like the street sidewalk. My my neighbor come over and said, while you were gone, you should have seen how many people were on your service. I said, who? I got the Latin dude, the Mexican dude that started his own landscaping service. And it's not cheap to have that snow removed. And if I was a kid today, I'd do it for half of what they talking about. And if I could do 5 houses, that kid is making so much money if they just did the driveway and the walkway of 5 homes in my neighborhood that they could eat for the month. You don't even have you don't have to wait for the snow to fall again for a minute. You could eat. All right, so my neighbor come over. He see me on, he see me and he come over. He was like, "Hey, you should have seen how many people picked up your service. The people who come over and do your yard and stuff." I said, "Wow, what's up?" He was like, "Well, they were doing your yard and there was nobody around to do ours." So we get to talking, and I'm like, "Well, where were the kids? Where the kids at?" I remember as a kid, I bought a shovel. I didn't buy a shovel, I ain't gonna lie, I stole a shovel. I stole a shovel and I used it. I remember using garbage can lids to move snow off of people's steps and shovel the snow off of their steps and their yard. I did it in the Fay. I remember doing that shit in the Fay apartments. And I would shovel the snow. It's probably why I don't like snow today. But I shoveled the snow to make dollars. If it was $10, I would do 10 yards and make $100. I don't understand kids today. What are y'all doing for y'all kids where they feel like they don't have to go out and grind for their money? What are kids doing where they don't have to go out and grind for some money? Somebody tell me. I got a clip I got to share. I call it Lazy Ass Kids 1. Let me see if I can find it. Now, this clip, there's a little bit of message in this one. I don't want to, maybe somebody will say it, so I won't have to say it in this clip. But this is a clip where a father is with his son in the car. And his son is saying, I ain't going out to shovel no snow. I need to shovel snow for. I want you to hear what the father says. And I'm with the daddy. I'm with the father because the father is pretty much, he feels the way I feel. I don't think, some people just settle. If you got $50 in your pocket, you don't need $75. If you got $50 in your pocket, you don't need $65. $50 is okay for you. If you got $50 in your pocket, to have $100 and $150 now don't mean nothing to you because you got the 50. Okay, Valerie Davis. Okay, sis. All right. I had to think about what comment that went to, and I'm thinking maybe it was what are the kids doing today? I don't know, but I'm gonna assume that. Watch this video here, and I want your reaction on it. Goodness gracious, sis.
I want to hear something crazy.
They don't want to hear nothing crazy. I'm not going out and shoveling nobody's snow. You can take all the Instagram stories you want to.
My son just said that I'm treating him like a slave because I'm making him shovel the front of the house, number one.
I didn't say you treat me like a slave.
You did.
Making me shovel. I said shoveling like a slave.
Okay, same difference.
So, no, it's not.
And
no, it's not.
He doesn't think it's a good idea to go around the neighborhood and shovel people's fronts out for money.
Because who's doing that? Who's doing that? It's 2024. Did somebody want their house shovel? They get up and shovel for themselves. And then you already made me shovel once, and you want me to do it again? No.
Yo, this new generation, boy. This is the new generation.
Go home.
We used to go get money out here.
I have a job.
We used to. That's cool. So you double up.
No, not shoveling nobody's white lady snow. No,
you supposed to see this opportunity and seize it.
Opportunity. No, that's more work for me. Why would I do that? This is an off day at school for me. I want to lay home and lay in my bed with no clothes on all day. I'm not going out shoveling nobody else's.
Come on here.
Where do I start with this one? I'm just saying. Where the hell I start with this one? You know what? Let me get a little kid. Let me get a brother. Let me get a little guy benefit of the doubt. Okay? Before I jump his ass. Let me just say this to you. The kid has a job already. Like I said, if you got $50, some people okay with having $50. They don't need 100. They don't need 150. They don't need 75. They don't need 125. They're okay with 50. He wants to lay at home with no clothes on all day. Who says that? Nah, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't never heard my child tell me, Daddy, I'm gonna stay at home all day and I'm gonna be naked. I ain't putting no clothes on. That shit is crazy. I'm trying not to go there with it. Gonna be tough because I'm reading the comments. The first problem I have with this child is this. Your children are who you raise. He either got his mama's personality or his father's personality. Shout out to the daddy for even, he seems to be I won't say well respected, because generally, if you disrespectful to your parent, you disrespectful to the people outside the door. Okay, that's just my concept of disrespect. When you disrespect the ones that love you, you definitely disrespectful to people outside the door. So I kind of had a slight problem with how he was talking to his father. You got to be kind of careful when you're watching these videos, though, because I don't know if it was a stage. I don't know if he was playing a role. But I know there's some truth to how that young man feels about today's working environment. Like, I'm not about to go out there shoveling no snow. I don't need to double up my money. I ain't about to shovel nobody's white snow. That there's a level of truth of kids that act that way. Because at least the kid says, I have a job. But there's kids that don't have a job that still ain't gonna do what needs to be. They ain't gonna go out and get their own money. Now, I'm going to tell you the type of person I had in my household. If my mama said, this is what my mother would say. She would look outside. Y'all got to pretend with me. We're going to look outside and act like there's snow. She would look outside and she would say, hey, Rand, sure is a lot of snow out there. And look at Miss Wilson over there. She barely getting up her steps. If somebody was out there shoveling them steps and them walkways, they could make a lot of money. My mother only had to tell me that one time. She only had to say that to me one time. Never had to repeat, go get some money to me. Never had to introduce me to a hustle in her life. She's never had to do it. I just wanted to make sure my mother was okay with me doing some things. My mother wasn't okay with me selling shopping bags down at the market because she knew how I got the bags. She knew I had to steal the bag. So I had to do something, and I had to do something wrong in order to do something right for myself. She wasn't with that. But to go out and to shovel some snow and to make an honest living, to make an honest buck, she definitely was okay with that. She definitely was okay with me to make an honest buck. All day long. She would let me stay out all day, from in the morning to afternoon. I used to shovel snow at nighttime. Now, what we got a problem with this kid, I don't know if it's really a problem with him not wanting to go out and shovel the snow, because he does say that he has a job. He has a job. Okay. He probably work in a clothing store somewhere, or Sephora. Sephora. He works somewhere where he don't have to shovel snow. Efficient for him. He don't feel like he got to go double up his money, or he don't feel like he got to hustle past his job. I ain't necessarily mad at the kid for that, but I am mad at his attitude. I am mad at the fact that he could talk to his father like his father didn't have no sense. Like, what do you mean shovel some snow? Let's go to the phone lines and see what somebody think about it. Let's see real fast. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, it's Michael Snackson. How are you?
Michael Snackston, what's good with you? How you feeling?
Oh, I'm outstanding.
Good. What's on your mind? Sorry, I was drinking. My bad, bro.
No, you okay? You say you didn't like the boy talking to his dad like his dad ain't got no sense, because his dad doesn't have any sense.
Wow, you think so?
Yeah, the dad's can. First of all, the dad's fronting. He knows that boy is sweet. He's just trying to get confirmation from strangers on social media.
You think
You
that
can
was
just
what
hear
he
it in
was
his
doing?
mannerisms and the way he talks. The boy's sweet.
Okay, maybe so, but he's still a boy.
And he's still a boy, and he's still smarter than his dad. Because when he said, no, I got a job, I ain't finna go washing no, get no snow. The dad come on some, you should do it. That tells me that boy understands two very important principles in economics: opportunity cost and diminishing returns. Him going to get some more money would would compete against his own personal satisfaction. So there was no need to do that. And the opportunity cost of doing something else probably was more to him than making a few extra dollars. So props to that boy. Because like I said, dad's an idiot. He's fronting. He put the boy out on Front Street.
Really?
So he can get confirmed that he was gay. He know he's sweet, man.
This ain't
Come
got
on.
nothing to do with that kid being gay.
Yes, it
Why do
does.
you see
Just
it that
because
way,
dad's
Fame?
a sinister asshole. First of
No,
all,
come on, Fame. Come on,
there's no
bro.
need to even put videos like this on social media.
Well, no, I think the message.
Just
Come on,
render your
Fame.
kid and move on.
Fame, come on, bro. I think what he was saying, and that's what he was saying. He didn't say gay kids today don't want to do.
No,
he didn't say that.
That's why it was sinister.
But wait a
he
minute.
Can't say that. He doesn't know for a fact. He wants somebody else to confirm it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You know what? I can't. I mean, that might be what you see and you get out of that, but I don't know if that's necessarily true, because think about it, Fame. That kid could have been a kid that worked at Foot Locker. and been a straight up little kid that was hard as hell. He could been an LL Cool J and rock bells and shit like that, right? He could be a hard kid, and he could say the same thing to his daddy and be like, man, I ain't messing up my J's and going out there shoveling no snow and all that. I got a job. Now
He
what?
didn't say I ain't messing up my J's. He said
No,
I got a job.
No,
He
Fame.
understands opportunity cost.
Fame. What I'm saying is a kid who's not soft and sweet could have had that same reaction to going out and shoveling in snow. I think,
that's not what he's saying.
Fame, let me make my point.
That's because he's soft and sweet because he won't shovel in snow. He can tell by mannerisms.
But you trying to say the only reason why
the kids speaking matter, everything about him said that he was
Fame. What does that have to do with the kids?
He was looking for a ditty.
No, Fame, stop. Time out. What does that have to do with does that kid, because he might be a little sweet, does that mean that all the kids got to be sweet to not shovel snow? So again, I don't understand your logic here.
Again, no, what I'm saying is that this particular kid with this particular guy, this guy played himself. He was trying to, get some confirmation about his son. I don't know the actual clinical term. Maybe somebody listening does. But he was trying to get some type of confirmation about a feeling he had about his son. So he wants everybody I guarantee I'm not the only person that saw that video and said, that little boy's sweet.
Yeah, I think a few of us may have seen it. I read some of the comments, but.
Oh, okay. Well, see, there you have it. He wants to, he's going to understand when that video circulates, he's going to get commentary on it from people. And so the more comments he gets that says, hey, your boy sounds a little soft, a little sweet. Not because he don't want to work or nothing like that. That's all some old, every generation does that to the generation before them. Y'all soft, you ain't doing nothing, you don't want to work. The old heads that you grew up with told you, they walked to school in 3 feet of snow.
Which they did.
Wasn't no school days back then. They told you that old monkey ass shit. What they do?
Where you going
Society
with this, Fame? This ain't got nothing to do with nothing. You know when we was kids that we went to school in much colder and higher snow weather than these kids do today. You know we did.
And your parents went through the worst days, and their parents went through worse days, all the way up to the days where nobody could go to school. Society evolves and changes. Things happen.
Yeah, but so are you suggesting that the kids' work ethic is as strong as ours was when we was coming up? Are you suggesting that it really is? Or would you say you think so?
They're wiser.
They're what? Manipulate?
Yes.
No, let me tell you what it is.
Wiser. They have, through technology. It made them wiser. They know a lot of stuff that we didn't know.
Okay.
At 12 and 13.
Okay. I give you that, but that don't make them hustlers. It don't make them go-getters.
It makes them hustlers in a different way.
I know.
They don't need to go scrape over somebody's stoop and clear their porch for them and then take out garbage and stuff. They got other ways to hustle. Like I told you, a social media hustling is a mother. That's why every day you look up, there's some new black couple trying to be comedians.
Yeah, well,
about relationships and all kind of toxic stuff. But it's always through the toxic stuff.
Hey, Fame, give me 1 second. I need to reboot so these comments will come up. Can you just hold 1 second?
Yeah, I got you. I'm here.
Yeah, because the comments aren't coming up on the main screen, and I want the comments to come up, bro, because I want to be able to log them so you can see them. Hold on 1 second. Guys, don't leave. I'm just logging out and coming back in so the comments will hopefully pop up, okay? Don't go anywhere. Hold on. We got Fame on the line. Fame, we logging back in now. It's going to take people a second to get back in. Hopefully somebody will put something in the chat. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm back with Fame. He's giving us his logical reason of how this father played himself. But let me tell you the truth about why I had to take this little break. I don't know if y'all still here or not. I hope so. Let me explain. I heard sirens in the background of Fame. And I told him, run, Fame, run.
you wow.
Run, Fame.
These people, yeah.
Run! I hit him,
You
come
know,
run.
you had old head saying that same old, malarkey to you and everybody else. Like I said, that's just some generational. It's talking. This dad has been concerned about his boy being sweet, and he wanted some confirmation
No, I don't
for
think
people
that.
who don't know who don't know him.
I think
He did that on purpose,
you're going way too
and
deep.
he played himself. His son showed him early that he's got an ear and a blatant proficiency for economics.
Yeah, you went way too deep on that one, Fame. I ain't gonna lie.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I am the goddamn camera
well,
of Cincinnati media. I
No.
blow up the negatives so
You-
that your people can see the bigger picture.
Well, first of all, let me just say this to you, brother. I really don't think that you just discovered the wheel, okay, on this one. I think that the man is trying to tell you that these kids today just don't go out and get the hustle like we used to. And here's the thing. Hear me out because you made your point. I just want to let you know the reason why kids don't go out and hustle as much anymore is because they don't have to. Because when we was coming up, no. I know you're right. You and I agree on that. We agree on that.
Oh, okay.
But I'm gonna tell you why they don't have to. And this might be something that you might understand. You might see it and you might not agree with it. But I'm gonna say it the way it needs to be said. A lot of us grew up with parents that couldn't do the things that our parents today can do. I can do way more for my children than my mother could do for me when I was growing up. So there are going to be some things that I would like. If in order for me to get Jordans or some Converse or whatever back in my day, I had to go out and get the money and earn it myself. My kids don't really have to do that. So that's one reason why they ass ain't outside shoveling in snow, because the parents of today are doing so much better. And we give our kids what we never had. And one of the things that get lost in that is work ethic. When we hand our kids everything and do everything for our children, we actually handicap them. We take away a lot of their work ethic. When we reward them for doing the things that they're supposed to do, that's when they get those things that they would normally have to go out and work for. And we lose a lot of that. We lose a lot of that. And then we turn around and say that these kids are lazy. They're not necessarily lazy. The problem is we do way more for them so they don't have to go out and do the things like shovel snow, carry groceries upstairs for Miss Sister, and do the things. They don't have to do those things. It's not just because of technology. Technology plays a part in it, but everybody don't have a podcast. Everybody's not getting TikTok money. Everybody don't do that. And when you got that kid who has the job and he make his $50 for the week, that's all he need. He don't need double up money like his father said. I just think, bro, I think I hear you, Fame. I ain't gonna sit here and argue with you about it because you might have it might be validated in some men. You're right. Some men do need to hear. I don't know. It's a psychological thing on their part, but some men do need to hear it from somebody else versus just admitting it to themselves about their child, especially if it's a little boy. You know what I'm saying, Fame? If you got a little son and he might be a little have some sugar, you know what I'm saying, bro? They might need that validation, hear it from somewhere else. I don't know. So I'm not gonna say you wrong about that, but I think this particular father is just saying that kids don't hustle like we used to. And I can't say it's any more than that.
I just think it's generational hate. There's nothing wrong with this kid. He has a job.
Right.
What do you want him to do? He's good. Apparently he's good. It has nothing to do with what his parents are giving him or not giving him. Apparently he's cool. He'd rather study, rather do something else. No, I got a job. I don't need to go do that.
But his justification of not doing it was not strong, bro. I ain't about to go out there shoveling nobody
didn't like it. He was very direct.
Yeah, okay.
I got a job.
What
more do you want him to say?
Well, no, I don't.
Dad played himself.
Like I said, I'm not mad at the kid. I even tried, but there was a lot going on with that conversation other than just, I'm not going to go out and shovel the snow, Dad. I got other stuff going on. I got homework to do. I got this. No, shoveling the snow was beneath him. I got a job already. I don't need no extra money. But guess what? He'll get his work money. And then if he needs something that's over and beyond his work money, what you think he gonna do? He gonna ask his father.
Yeah, well, just like an adult would do, they go get a credit card or a credit line.
Bro,
Go ask for somebody for the help.
All right. Well, I
I'm
think
just
we'll. No,
man. Give the kid a break.
I did
Again,
give him a
we
break.
don't give kids a break.
I did give him a break. So you thought it was okay how he talked to his father in that?
Yes, he
Okay,
was firm and direct. He was smart enough to realize his dad trying to play him.
How was his dad playing him? He didn't say go shovel some snow so we can
No,
get some
no.
money.
By putting the whole conversation on camera anyway, it wasn't necessary.
Well, maybe not. I don't know.
Dad thinks he's making a point. Dad the boy
Dad,
like, no, you want to play? Let's play.
I think Dad made a point. I think he made a point to a lot of us older generational guys who used to go out and shovel snow, and the same ones who are homeowners right now who sit back and look for the. Wait a minute, hold on. The same guys that are sitting back here waiting for somebody, some man that has their own home, and they're not able to go out and shovel snow, and there's no kids in the neighborhood coming over to shovel their snow. I think that makes the point to the people like, yeah, it's not just you, sir. It's a lot of us. A lot of us don't see the kids shoveling snow out here anymore. It's just not something that they do.
He gave y'all a point of nostalgia. That's all. Same thing you would do as a DJ if you DJ in a club before you introduce the next record. I was a so and so grinding on blah 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 when this song came out. Bow. You know what I'm saying? What the hell? That's all he was doing. He played himself. That kid played. Props to that kid.
All right.
Dad needs to go get him some gene therapy. Or some type of help.
Okay.
The kid, but the kid is wise and smart.
Okay.
Good for him.
Okay. Well,
but we're gonna agree to disagree on that because I really called to talk about the youth football.
Okay, yeah. What's your opinion on that, Fame?
I didn't see the actually I did hear about the story. I didn't read it though, but I heard about it.
And you used to ref.
I mean, you're exactly right. There's nobody,
used to ref. Let's set the stage.
Usually,
hold on. Let's set the stage because you kind of an expert at this because you are a little league football ref. You've been doing that for some years, right?
I'm all the way up to college, bro.
Okay, well, I mean, you've refereed kids before, though, right?
Yeah.
You've seen them out there. Okay, so what's your opinion on
it? Like I was gonna say that usually at the smaller levels, age 6 through 11.
Yeah.
There's like maybe one or two guys on each team that's really getting after it, getting busy like that. But like you said, like the equipment usually absorbs the hit.
Yeah.
Pretty good at that age. So they're not really risking concussions. But as long as they are playing at age appropriate age and weight, restriction appropriate.
Yeah.
I can live with that. Say whether they play or not, but I've heard of players that didn't play tackle until 9th grade still had Division I scholarships.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I mean, it's not really that hard to figure out why they're doing it, but California, when you heard about bad coaches, like they was like the number one places that was on all them news specials. Kids getting not just concussions, but what's that when you can't walk, crippled and all that kind of stuff. Necks broken,
paralyzed,
all that kind of stuff. Yeah, paralyzed, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I don't know if 6-year-olds through 11-year-old type of age group is really, bringing the thunder like that. I mean, I remember playing youth football and I remember getting hit, but it was never like that. You know what I mean? They wasn't Ronnie Lawton out there or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think once you hit that 12-year-old peak, yeah, it could get a little dangerous. I agree that there's some danger there, but a 12-year-old has a better they can comprehend a little bit of the safety. They have the do's and don'ts on the defense of how to hit, how not to hit, and they know how to absorb hits as well at the age of 12 on up. You know what I mean? But it's still a dangerous sport. I correlated a little bit with boxing. The 6-year-olds, the chances of a 6-year-old getting a concussion by another 6-year-old is very minimum. Because a 6-year-old doesn't hit hard enough. An 8 or a 9-year-old, those kids don't hit hard enough, even in boxing. All right. So it's the same type of situation. Plus, they wear the headgear. The concussions are just not prevalent. That it's just not a big problem in boxing at the younger age. But when you get to that 12 and 13-year-old age in boxing, yeah, you're starting to get you're getting these fulfilled muscles that are, going to the next stage, and it can be dangerous. It can be. So yeah,
No,
I don't agree with California trying to end contact sports for kids. I don't agree with it.
no, yeah. I mean, it don't need to be done, but I'm okay if they do it. I won't make a big fuss about it either way. But I don't think it needs to be done. But let me hop over here.
Okay, brother.
Always a pleasure, and y'all be well. Ow!
That's Fame toning in. He agreed. We agreed on one thing. We disagreed on the other. We went 1 for 1. Wow. We went 1 for 1. I missed a couple callers while on the air. Let me explain to you guys. I'm having some problems with my I don't know, with the messages going across the screen. I don't know. You guys, I'm sure you probably can't see the messages. I'm gonna log out and come back in once again. I hope I don't lose a lot of people. Don't hang up. Just stay where you are or back out and log right back in. Don't leave. I'm just trying to get the message back up so we can go to the message so we can read the comments. Give me 1 second. Okay, are you guys still here? Can somebody put in the screen yes, no? Nah, we don't really see you. Can you just let me know? Okay, LaDonna says me too, saying I can see them. Krista Wilwright says I could see the messages. I can see the comments, Regina Griffin says. People saying they can see the messages. Maybe it's just my board that's not allowing me to see the messages. So I'll just keep on going. John Ludd over on YouTube. I can see your message on YouTube. Fame says YouTube is here. Thank you. I appreciate you guys over there letting me know. I appreciate it. For some odd reason, the Facebook and X and a couple other sites are not showing up on the screen. And they're not showing up on Facebook either. So we'll just ride. Y'all can't see. YouTube can't see. Let me just see something what we got going on here. Guys, pardon me. It's showing that everybody's connected. So there just must be something streaming system. They're not showing everything. I'll get that fixed or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's on my end. Maybe they have something going on. Let me knock that off my thing. Let's do. I got to show a video. I don't know if I should really do this because I got a couple other things I'd like to talk about. I seen my sister from Withrow. Y'all know Alicia Gardner. She made a comment about stop sending your kids to Cincinnati Public School and send them over to Don's. Have y'all seen that yet? I mean, I caught the tail end of it. I've been reading some of the comments. Did anybody agree with that? I told her we would have a conversation. I was kind of hoping she would come on today, maybe even call. But that was a thing that I video real fast. It's called Dear Steve Harvey. Dear Steve Harvey. I probably shouldn't get up off these lazy kids yet. That seems to be a conversation that we all can adore, or get into. We could chop it up. But I got this video. Have you guys seen this video that's called Dear Steve Harvey? It's this little brother who stands up and he's a poet and he wrote this. Alethea says Don's. Yes, Crystal, it's Lisa. It was her. Me and Lisa went to Withrow together. We were always cool. Let me see if I can find it. Here's what a lot of people don't understand. One of the things that I go hard for is education, right? Let me see if I can find this thing. There it is, Steve. All right, I just wanted to make sure I had the video ready to go before I make this comment. A lot of people don't understand that I go hard for education. All right, so I want y'all to understand the reason why I engage with Alicia I call her Lisa. The reason why I got into the conversation with Lisa about this education thing is because what she's saying is Cincinnati Public Schools is failing. They're failing our children. I don't blame Cincinnati Public Schools. There's a nucleus of problems there. I know what the problems are. We tried to have this conversation. I'll stick with what I think, and I'll let everybody else stick with what they think. But She says, she makes a comment, maybe we'll do a show on this one day. She says, parents need to take their kids out of Cincinnati public school and send them to Don's. I think what she's trying to say is, if Cincinnati public school is not going to deliver what our children need, we need to send them somewhere else. We need to send them to a competitor. That's what I'm thinking she's really saying. And like everything else in this world, you're never going to get the best out of whatever it is you're doing. If you don't have competition, you'll never be the best at what you do. If schools such as public school, private school, charter schools, whatever the schools are, if they don't have any competition, then they don't have to really perform well. They really don't. So I think what she's saying, and I don't know if she's plugging the Don school, I have no dog in that fight, but I think what I'll say about it is this. I agree with her. I don't agree everybody should take their kids out of Cincinnati public school. I'm saying that I think parents should have an option to do that if they want to. And I think that if Cincinnati public school had some competition, maybe the competition will expose the things that Cincinnati public school won't tell you. So you got to understand, there's a lot of schools that don't tell you the truth about what they got going on because they don't want to expose it because they still want the money. They still want the money. They got a lifestyle to keep up. They got teachers to pay. They got janitors to pay. They got a whole business to run over there. So we can't tell you what's going on with our bread, with our money. We tell you what's going on with our money, then you might start holding us accountable, and then we got to start saying some names. And if we start spitting some names out, shit ain't gonna go right. It ain't gonna look good. It's the optics get blown out. It's no good. So what my sister said was we need to start pulling our kids out of Cincinnati public school. As I said, I don't know if I agree with that. See, look, Alethea says Dons get funding from Cincinnati public schools. They don't. They get their money the same place that Cincinnati public school get their money. They ain't splitting the tuition. Let me just say this. A lot of people don't agree with me with school choice. But school choice don't always have to be what you think it is. I think Emmanuel Livingston said the other day when we had this topic going on, he said something like, that's just them dirty ass Republicans trying to shut down public school. That's not necessarily true. Have you ever thought, now I know y'all gonna say, oh, there you go. When I was growing up, I went to a school called CCA, ran by the Kelly family out of Cincinnati. The Kelly family, Mr. and Mrs. Kelly. One thing that shut that school down was the funding. They didn't have the funding. They didn't have the enrollment. They didn't have enough kids. It was only like 200 of us that started the school out. But I learned more in that school about myself being Black. I learned more about, I didn't have Black History Month. We had Black History Year. We learned everything from Frederick Douglass to Malcolm X to Martin Luther King, from the Underground Railroad to economics. We learned all that plus state required, criteria, the things that you have to learn in the schools. They went over and beyond and taught us things that we needed to know. I was in the 6th grade, 5th grade. Can you imagine schools being able to exist by getting funded by the same tax dollars that are being given to the Cincinnati public schools? Let me give you an example. Got to make it a little selfish. My wife and I were talking a week ago because I told her I was talking about this school choice stuff. And she was like, me and her sister is in education. And she was like, we were thinking about possibly doing a charter school years ago. But getting the funding was the difficult thing. And if you try to do it in certain areas, there's so many high requirements because when you start doing charter schools, you have to teach what the state requires you to teach. And when you start talking about, okay, I'm going to be this type of school and we're going to add this in and this, that's where the red tape come in. Oh, no, you can't do that. You can't teach them that. You can't do this. You can't do that. You got to stick to the curriculum. You can't do all this extra stuff. So I told my wife, I said, you know, what's funny is things are going a little bit different now. Can you imagine if we controlled our own schools? Like if we could get that same $13,000 per student and open up an academy and teach these kids, you know, open up a CAPE. Remember CAPE? Or, you know, if we were getting that same funding that the Cincinnati Public Schools was getting, and yeah, maybe they will lose some of their enrollment because maybe we focus in on children in a strength area. Not all kids are meant to go to the University of Cincinnati. Not all kids are meant to go to Morehouse. Not all kids are meant to go to the college level. Some kids are supposed to be in auto mechanics because that's what they love to do. Some girls, some guys want to go to cosmetology school because that's what they love to do. Ain't nothing wrong with getting paid to do what you like to do or love to do every day. And if the school systems are not set up so a kid can benefit off their strengths, then it's a waste of that kid's time. They're not going to want to be there. It's hard enough to get them to understand, especially if they don't have parents that understand the value of education. It's already tough. It's already tough for them to do that. I want to show you this one video right here before I jump into the Steve Harvey one, because I said I wasn't going to talk about this, but I didn't get on my lift. I want you to hear this little thing right here. I want you to hear this little video right here. Some of y'all going to get mad that I did this. I don't know where I'm at with this. Let me just make sure that I'm good to go because I've popped in and out. I want to make sure I'm still on the air because I'm not seeing any comments whatsoever. Okay. I want you to watch this video right here. One of my favorite old school guys saying something that a lot of people need to breathe in. You need to smoke this information like it's a joint. I don't smoke weed, but I know how to inhale and absorb it and let it get to my brain cells and then blow it out when it's time to blow it out. So we're going to smoke this information like it's a joint or a cigarette or a cigar. Maybe I should have said something legal. I don't know. We're going to smoke this information right here. But I want you to hear it. Check it out.
Reason we so messed up, never before have there been anyone that went through what we went through, slavery, discrimination, the whole thing, and then we opt for education over liberation. Now y'all play with that if you want. Liberation is close to the universal God. Education, any fool can put that book together. Y'all can sit there with all your PhDs. Oh, George Washington didn't beat up the damn British for the right to build a college. They was getting liberated. And then once you liberate, you build a college to what you like it to be. Not what some white folks that's sending the money want it to be. And now it's catching up with you. Now it's catching up with you. Read.
Now it's catching up with you. Let it sit there for a minute. Let it sit there for a minute. Let it sit there for a minute. You notice he said, I know where he went with it, but you notice how he attached the money? He said, you let them teach you what they want you to know, and you let money get involved in it. If you would have took liberation, if you would have been together instead of trying to be part of somebody else's shit, if we get our own schools, then we teach what we want to be taught. We teach what we need to know. Information is key. One thing that individuals cannot do, an educated mind, they can be influenced, But an educated mind, a smart mind is one of the things that's a hard thing to convince of something that's just not true. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, educated minds aren't influenced as easy. And I don't mean educated like, oh, you got a PhD. I don't mean that. I don't mean college degree. I'm talking about minds that have, like, a hairdresser has her way of thinking. A barber has his way of thinking. He understands business the way he understands business. So you might not be able to come in there and shake and bake them out of their money because they have a concept of business, even by the way they do business. You see what I'm saying? Because you do a cash business don't mean that you don't understand the principles of finance. You may not know you might not know the 101s of finance, but just being in the business and running it the way you run it gives you enough knowledge to understand the principles of finance. But when they have a school system that don't require you to learn about finance, then they know you blind, deaf, and dumb of finances. When you get out, you become victim. And when the people who control the money control what you learn, that's just like saying, we ain't got to teach them nothing. We ain't got to teach them nothing. That's why I was burned up 6 months ago when they had y'all talking about they was trying to ban books from Black history. Y'all mad at this old fake ass shit that they making up, trying to put in they distorting our minds to make you think that they trying to stop us from learning history when they ain't teaching you basic financial literacy. You worried about some shit that ain't really going on. That's planted. That's on purpose for you to think that. They don't want you to learn about your own history. You mean that same history book you wrote? That's what you don't want them to learn? Come on now. Come on now. So if I keep you focused on something emotional, if I keep your emotions spinning on something that's not necessarily true, what happens to the truth? It escapes. It's not even a factor anymore. It don't really matter. You ain't got to focus on it. So here's my thing. One of my points. When I say school options, what happens is Dr. Kelly out of Cincinnati could actually open up an academy, an all-girl academy. She can open up an all-male or all-boy academy. What happens is these academies become competition. Some of y'all want to be so mad at me for saying what I say and giving some of the information and giving my point of view. You just want to you want to tongue wrestle and be so just against it. You don't even think. I'm going to use famous word. They're just pessimistic against what I say. They just want me to be wrong. They want me to be negative about it. Let me tell you what it does. I don't know any business in the United States of America that doesn't give their customers better service, better product, better attention when they have competition in front of them. When the Cincinnati public schools and the public schools across this country have competition, they'll do better. But if you ain't got no competition, then whatever goes. Test scores are what they are. Abusive fund handling and all that, they just gonna do it. The bottom line is this. My man said it. We fought for the wrong thing. We fought not for liberation. Yeah, y'all don't understand. When Martin Luther King said, I walk my people into this burning church, y'all do understand he was talking about the fact that he was listening to those folks that was giving him the information, and they were definitely pump faking. They were giving him the illusion of inclusion. It was an illusion. We should have been more Malcolm X and say, hey, let's get our own grocery stores. Let's get this, let's get that. If we're going to get any government funding, it's not to get government funding so you can put us on rations for it. Give us government funding so we can start our own. I don't need rations. I don't need a check every month. I don't need no wealth. I need a garden. It's basic math to me. It's basic math to me. And when you say that they're trying to shut down public schools, I don't understand people who defend a bad product. That's like saying if people are putting out food that has food poisoning in a restaurant because you ate there last week, 3 people in that restaurant got sick. And since you didn't get sick and some other people didn't get sick, well, it don't deem or the health board don't need to go in. Everybody didn't get sick. A few of us made it out okay. We ate the turkey they ate. We ate the same hamburgers that they ate. It was 200 of us in that weekend. 200 people ate in that restaurant this weekend. 200. Only 10 got hurt. Got only 10 people. Well, if you're looking at the school system, a third of your kids are reading below proficiency level. A third. I tell you what, the man that I am and how I feel about things, I've never wanted a school in my life. But if somebody was to set up a program and it was something like, hey, you know what? We got this school that we're looking to do. I mean, you know, I'm not going to say any names like Dr. Umar Johnson or something like that. I'm not going, if I got to see the blueprint, you're not going to hustle me like you in a crap game and you'll pay me. You're not going to gamble my money against me. You know what I'm saying? You ever been in a crap game and a dude bust out and then he want to borrow $20 or $100 so he can shoot against you? So I'm going to loan you my 100 so you can shoot my 100 at me. That's crazy as hell. We ain't doing that. No, you come back another day, player. You come, today wasn't your day. Thank you, Andre. Let me see what we got going on over here. Let me just make sure because I want to just make sure. I want to make sure my man Emmanuel, because I'm running up against the time here. Yeah, it looks like he's not coming on today. So I'm usually done at 3 o'clock. Since I started a little bit late, do you guys want me to go a little bit longer? Let me set this back up. 2 locations. Okay. You guys want me to go a little bit longer? I do, Andre. I just wanted to know if maybe he was coming on late or not. Andre says, oh, wait a minute. The comments are coming back up? Oh, no, those are YouTube comments. They're not coming over on Facebook. So I'm a little reluctant on how this thing is moving today. Andre says, damn, you don't trust the Wyatt fam word? Sure, I do. I do, bro. But maybe he said he was running late. He'll be back on at 3:30. I just wanted to see what he said so I can pass on the information from what he says. And yeah, he's saying he's not on today. So let's go a little bit. We can go a little bit past the hour. So liberation was more important. I understood that. Remember in Black Panther when your boy, what's his name? Michael B. Jordan, he was the bad guy. He was a bad guy in there, okay? He was a bad guy. He was a good bad guy. But remember when Black Panther killed him, and he was like, I ain't with that bondage shit. You know, it was slaves that felt that same way. Some of y'all call them crazy. I understand that. I used this analogy 6 months, maybe a year ago on the Wyatt Live show. I said, how would slavery go today? Y'all talk all that shit about slaves and all that old shit. Like, I didn't like that young man in that video with shoveling snow. I didn't like his analogy. I don't like when people today use slavery in their analogies because they don't really understand what slavery was. They don't get it. I ain't gonna be out there shoveling no snow like a slave. I mean, that's just so disrespectful. Respect that grind, respect what those folks went through, so you'll feel so much better of who you are today. Stop looking down on somebody who had to do what they had to do. I ain't gonna be out there like no damn slave. That sounds ridiculous to me. Totally ridiculous to me to say that. Let me go to the phone lines before I get into my Steve Harvey video. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Wyatt, this is Alethea Williams. How are you today?
I'm good, sis. Is that my nephew out here back there screaming?
It is. His daddy making them yell.
What's up with y'all? What's good?
Oh, I was just giving you a call. I did want to hit on the topic that you had first with the young man.
Okay, go ahead.
In the car with his father.
Okay.
I don't believe that the father was trying to show that his son was gay. I think you can clearly see that. He was literally treating his son like a man with responsibilities. Just because you have one job, that's not enough in today's time to keep you with everything you need. Like, I'm pretty sure that the father still have to take care of his son financially, but he's just giving him different avenues of income, to make sure that he he can save money, and you can just know who your neighbors are. It's just another way to make money, because a slave, how he's saying, I would think you look better as an entrepreneur out here shoveling the snow, raking the leaves, taking people's trash out, versus going to McDonald's or Rallies or whatever, working for someone else. I think his father was just trying to expose him to a different avenue of more ways to get money to build his survival skills when his father is no longer able to. So I think that, the gay part really didn't matter to him. I think he already knows.
Fame was on some bullshit. Fame was on some bullshit. He was just trying to be smarter than the room. That's my man and all that. But Fame went way too deep for that. That was way too deep.
He did. I don't think the young man got out on his father at all. Being smarter than his father. I think his father really meant business and was trying to show him a way. And like he said, I'd rather be at home naked. We didn't need to hear all that, but that's what you'd rather do. But there's things that still need to be done, and be smart with your time. You'll never get your time back, because we all know, even looking back at ourselves as kids, we wished we would have done things differently or saved me. We all have that in us, but I don't think it was to pinpoint that he's gay. So, but the other topic you had was very interesting to me, because I'm a hairstylist and I do the hair for the mental support for Dons. And it's very interesting to hear about the program, internal versus on the outside looking in, or if you just have maybe one child that did very, very well in there, which is cool. But if you get the young lady that you said you wanted her to be the guest, I would like to give you another part to that, and I'll inbox you, DM you, and things like that, to have the inside part to something she may not know, so you can have a little balance with the show, your podcast.
Well,
so
I'm sure she's gonna watch. So you can say, can you give us a taste bud of what it is? Wet the beak a little bit. Let us know. She'll come back or say something. Let me say this to you, sis. I don't really think that she mentioned Don, the school, but I don't really know if she means Don just that particular school. I think she means, you know how when you say something and you just use one particular thing as the example instead of giving a rundown of all the things, all the options. I think that was her thing, but she did say Don's in particular. So, I don't want to put words in her mouth, or I don't want to kind of come up with her meaning. I just seen it that way. That was my impression.
Okay. So, she's a mental health support, which is a therapist. All the locations have a therapist, because these kids, Don started out as a addiction school. Kids that needed help with addiction. but it grew to be behavioral school that people have trouble inside of Cincinnati Public or whatever school they go to, IEPs, things like that,
Okay.
to go to Don's, and they're focused on more behavioral things like that, get them trades, which the program sounds good. They have a parenting. I went and spoke at their kids with kids, mothers with kids. It wasn't fathers, it was the mothers,
Okay.
to keep them in school. But it's the violence. It's the behavior that when you send your kid to that school, the other behaviors that they will come home with. It's the therapy approach that is no longer working in that program, that they are now starting to phase out because they see that the respect level is not there for the therapists, where they're getting injured and not respected as much as they should. So that's why I just felt like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy that I was just talking to this young lady about this program and how much she felt like they needed help where she had to leave it, because that's her license on the
Okay.
line.
Okay.
She went to school for this. So, like I said, if you ever need that part, I'll just DM you her information so you can get more on that. But I do have nieces that went to that school. And I think I called you and told you, like,
Yeah.
Wyatt, this daggone graduation, we were on
Yeah.
concrete, like black tar. We were in the hood.
Yeah, I know.
Alcoholics were walking up,
I
to this
know.
graduation. No protection for the kids.
Yeah.
We saw kids walking up with guns. It was just,
yeah.
to me, that wasn't providing a
But
safe environment
yeah,
for the
but
parents, the
sis, I gotta say
teachers.
something. I gotta say something about that. Because I commented on it back then. Don's has been around for a lot of years, okay? And I don't think that we can say, now this was what, a year or two ago when this happened, and it was like during COVID or
Last
something.
summer, yes.
It was last summer. Okay, so
Last summer. It didn't have anything to do with COVID.
okay, let's not put it on COVID. I was just thinking it was during that time. It had to be within a year or two.
No.
So it was right around this time. But let me give them the benefit of the doubt by saying this. First of all, I'm sure there's a lot of people that can say a lot of things, but I'm just gonna say this, okay? All the graduations that Don has done over Don's high school or whatever school, I don't know exactly what they're, what they're called, high school or whatever. All the graduations they've ever had over these years, you can't say it's been like that it hasn't been like that consistently. They've always had really good graduations, or graduations that nobody really talked about because there was problems. So this one year they have a problem. Now the school ain't no good. They ghetto, they this and this. That's not fair because they've had a ton of graduations and they've been successful at doing that. So to just have one, that's like that's like you ever loan somebody some money every time, and then when you tell them no that one time, they act like you ain't never done nothing for them. It kind of plays into that type of feel. Like, damn, Don's been successful with their graduations. They had it at the Fifth Third Arena one time. They had them at the Heritage. They've had it at big places.
Centaurs,
Right.
Yep, they did.
So this one
But they
time,
weren't paying their bills and things like that.
maybe not.
Where they're no longer able to have these graduations. But in my sense, I do believe that that's what the kids deserve.
Sure.
You work this hard, regardless of what program you've been through. You work this hard. You got everybody in 100-degree heat. And this is a plan for him for the next 5 years. So that's why I decided to have the conversation with you, is that, hey, he said he wants to go to the hood. This is his goal. Go
And
to the
have
hood
the
and have
graduations
graduations
in the hood?
He
Well,
said
see,
it at the graduation.
Okay, well listen, here's the thing, man. Look, maybe in a marketing kind of way, he's trying to do that to put, because I know Davenport. We know each other, but we're not like friends and cool and all that. I think when he says he wants to take these graduations to the hood, I think he has good intentions by doing that, quite honestly, from an optics point of view. But I think what he's trying to do is market the school, and he's trying to go where he feels his audience is. And if I show success of other kids that come to our school, and I show it to the people here who will never come on our campus, we got to bring the campus and the success of us to them. I think that's his approach. Now, I can't speak for him, but from a marketing point of view, that's kind of where I think he's coming from. But now you got to be better than a parking lot next to what was it, an alcoholic store, a pony
Yeah, it
keg,
was in Roselawn, that little Roselawn
Yeah, you
strip,
got to be
right?
better
I
than that.
mean, anybody could walk up. It wasn't,
I
private, a
think the
private event. A
intent,
lot of the grandparents had to leave.
yeah,
It
and they
was
was
bad.
rolling up
It
with
was
loud
bad.
music. They was rolling up, smoking
Yep.
weed. They was
During
rolling
the
up. I
during the
get it.
ceremony,
I
and
get it.
those things you can't really control. And like you said the same thing when we talked about it last summer.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, when you doing with children and young adults, there's a way to do this. And their adult program, which is the 22 plus, they have those out at the church New Prospect that's out in Roselawn. They even offered to host it, but he said this is what he wanted to do, which is okay by me. I don't have any
Well, I'll say
anymore,
this.
but
I'll
I
say
just think
this.
it was the safety issue.
Yeah, maybe so, but I'll look at it like this as well. There's two ways of looking at it, sis. I think the intent was good, quite frankly, but here's the problem. I think we need to hold our hood more accountable to act right during certain times. You can't say that somebody that's bringing something good to the neighborhood and showing success of kids that had bad times or went through obstacles. Now you worried about you got to worry about the people in the neighborhood, or people not acting right during this good time. Who do you blame? Why would you blame the people that's done the right stuff and did everything they were supposed to do? And because the people who want to act a fool, now we looking at them like, like our kids did something wrong, or or Don's
And
did
that's the
something wrong.
thing. That's the thing of why you send kids to a different school is you have to take them out of the environment that they're in to show them different. That's why I didn't
Yeah,
agree with
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Like
yeah. I
even when you
agree.
say about the Ohio Ed choice, you don't have to stay in Cincinnati Public. If your child has the grades and your school is failing, you have the choice to go to a private school where that scholarship is available for you. You
I'm
have to pull them out to show them different so they know to do different. So if I'm graduated, I don't want to go to the hood that I'm suffering from, that attendance is low, that have the gun violence, that has the drugs, that have so much violence. I
You
mean,
may
some
not
people
want
may,
to.
but that's just
Yeah.
not my choice.
And I got it. I get it. I'm not trying to be evil about it. I understand your
Hmm.
perspective, sis, but from a point of view from people that's trying to help others coming up, I think the more you show success of people where they come from, I think others might tap in. I think if you show people that, hey, I didn't go to school, or I had a child when I was 16 and 17 and I got through this, I think you can too.
Hmm.
It's like anything else. I think I didn't want to
Hmm.
play baseball until I went to a game and watched other kids play. And I was scared to
Hmm.
do certain things. But at the same time, once I went down to Parktown and I watched the kids that was older than me play, I remember going down there by myself one day wanting to play. You see what I'm saying? I wanted to be on a team.
Hmm.
Sometimes you got to put things in front of people. So, if you show them what success looks like, if you show them that you can do it, we from the same place, we got this, I got through it, you can too. If you show them that success, that can be a motivator.
Hmm.
I think the bigger argument is, why do we have individuals that feel like coming to a graduation with loud music, smoking weed, and cussing and fussing, and sitting in front of older people, grandmothers and grandfathers, and making them leave because they ain't nowhere to sit? Why do we have that
Yep.
mentality in our village? Why is that more?
Only
We
because
know we
it's
know
a
it's a
public
problem.
place. You're taking it to a public place where that is the problem. Like that's what's making the kids suffer. If you look at Don's about their program, it shows it's for kids who have not the proper nutrition, not proper parents in the household, raising themselves, drugs, alcohol, any type of substance abuse, behavior abuse, mental issues, anything broken about a child, they're able to go to this school. So that's why I felt like this program needs to be a little better to show them different
What's the
because they're
success?
already indulged in this program after they get out
I,
of school.
I don't think that you and I disagree on any of that. I think the school is necessary for all those things you just named. But at the same time, if you go stick your head in the sand and have all this success away from where people are from, some people don't have the access to get to where that success is. Some people don't have.
Can you tell me? I'm sorry for cutting you.
No, that's okay.
Can you tell me what's more important? Having these kids in the hood with a graduation and walking and seeing their support team leave because they're unsafe. They're there for them. They're there for them. They finally made it. They achieved it. And watching their support team leave,
like mom and grandma, that's a horrible thing.
And it's a muck.
Yeah, that's a horrible thing.
That's a horrible feeling.
So now let me ask you this.
My heart went to, like,
okay,
whoa,
all right, and that's a legit. That's a
parents.
That's a legitimate. Hold on, sis. That's a legitimate gripe. That's a legitimate gripe.
Okay.
But here's what happens. Sometimes, sis, when you go into certain areas and you try to experiment with these type of things, sometimes the first time is just not the right way to do it. Sometimes you live and learn. I think it's a great idea that the schools are going into the neighborhoods that suffer the most in truancy and kids that are not motivated to go to school. It's a great idea to take the school success into those neighborhoods and watch kids that's from where they from have those same obstacles, had a child, couldn't, had a little dyslexia, whatever it is. If we can do it, you can do it. I just think what we're missing here, sis, is this. If you're going to have these graduation neighborhoods, we just need to facilitate the graduation the right way. Okay, you just have to have it.
I agree.
Okay, so we agree on that. It's not a bad idea to have it there.
As far as facilitating it, what I mean by facilitate, it needs to be somewhere protected. It needs to be somewhere where they feel like they achieved something. Like having that there was a daycare, there were school buses, there were firefighters, there were kids passing out. The focus left away from the children's graduation.
I understand because
I'm not gonna lie to you. So when you say facilitate, to me, I'm feeling like more of a security, more of a indoorsy thing, something they can control. And not uncontrolled, because there were randoms just coming up, and no ticket is needed. Whoever can just come. And because they were giving away free water and I think like free snacks, it was just people just coming up and taking part. I saw older men walking up trying to talk to the young girls that was coming from the liquor store.
All of
that was a lot. So when you say facilitate, I do agree with you with facilitating. That, to me, that means put it in something a little bit more safer.
So now let me ask you this, sis. Let's stay on the topic, but let's switch it up just a little bit. We have that same problem in our little league football games and baseball games and all these shout sports. So now are you suggesting that we not have any games in the neighborhood because there are going to be some people out there smoking? There's going to be people out there making cussing. There could be some possible gunshots and gun shootings. There were 2 coaches killed over the last 2-3 years during practices. Now, look, I see that to be detrimental. But at the same time, we can't stop doing the things that need to be seen by our children. We just need to make the people that do that type of stuff, we need to get them gone, not the functions and not the graduations and not the people that's doing the stuff the right way. We got to get that small. We got to get that small.
Sport.
So is a graduation. It can be. Look, you can do a graduation at, what used to be, they put TQL there now. But remember Taft Field? Remember how Taft's football field was right there by TQL? They moved it over to the other side. You can do a graduation in that neighborhood at a football field outside and still make it a festivity and just make it where you have to.
But that's still for Taft. Like, that's Taft kids, Taft neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
No, not all those kids
stadium. Didn't they have a little stadium in the back where they played football before the TQL? Like, they have I know my kids graduated in Columbus, and one of them graduated outside, and that was the one that went in the private school, but it was outside of their school. It wasn't open to anybody. You had to have a ticket, you had to come in.
Right.
So
okay.
When you say outdoorsy, I'm looking at it a little different.
Well, when you do something outside, you just have to have a perimeter up. That's why you do it at a stadium. To do it in a parking lot, where there's and it's a liquor store and they've been buying
It was
Black
a
and
strip
Milds.
mall. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a bad situation. That was probably a lesson learned. Okay, that was. Here's the thing. I don't even know. Look, some people aren't from there. Okay, sometimes people that are in charge, some people just can't take some. And I'm not suggesting this is what happened. I'm saying it's a possibility. Some people can't take directions from people because maybe they look down on them. Maybe they don't think those people know because they're not in that. They're not in that in the same, like they're not at a higher scale. They're not an educator like you. Maybe the secretary tried to tell somebody over there like, shit, yeah, you about to put it next to what? Earl and them are gonna be.
Which it was. That's why I was like, if y'all ever get on that topic, like I just don't feel like I don't go to the school and I don't work for the school, but just having the inside detail of how it's unorganized with things and it's unprotecting the children. I just don't see how anybody is.
So how do you suggest these schools? And this is it, because I got a couple other calls, some people calling. How do you suggest these schools market themselves other than being on television? Because I'm gonna tell you something.
Well, I think they could do pamphlets. I think they could do television. I don't think the graduation is the time to market. I don't think the graduation is that time to market. You could film the graduation and show it later to people who may be interested in the program, but I don't think that time is the right time.
I think it's the best time. I think it's the best time. It's the best time. It's the best time to show your children who have had obstacles in life. It's the best time to show their success. It's the best time to show other people who probably.
You're saying it's the best time for marketing as far as getting other people to come?
Yes.
Or it's good marketing for graduates? At that point, it's about the graduates.
Yes,
I
think it works both.
I think it should be about them, not the newcomers.
No, I think it works both ways. I think it shows the neighborhood or whatever the challenging area is that you can be just as successful as these kids right here. And then it also shows these kids that there's nothing wrong with being from there and being successful. You did it. It gives you even more of a higher, it makes you feel even more. It makes you feel like the next level is not going to be nothing because I did it from here. I know that feeling, sis.
I think you just had to be.
Yeah, maybe you're a little biased because you was. Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's what you're not doing, sis. And I know you love your people. But what you're not doing is you're not giving this an opportunity to be right. Like, think of the bigger picture. Think of what it is that what was trying to be accomplished there. It was trying to show that some challenging kids who have gone through things are from a neighborhood, and we're going to show their success to the neighborhood. We just didn't have it structured right. So we're going to live and learn off of that situation. And next year we're going to come back better. It's going to be structured better, but with the same message. Hello?
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. It cut off, but I'm listening.
No, I'm just saying. I think if you do it right, it can send the same message and it can have the same, I think kids who may think that it ain't cool to go to school might see one of their little cubs through the program and got through the obstacles, was living on the streets, was selling drugs, whatever the complication was in that kid's life. Sometimes you got to put another kid in front of them that's just like them, had the same mentality, the same interest. And that kid or the young lady that had the baby at 15, 16, and she went through school, she, did everything. And sometimes you can show
that. Sounds good.
Right.
I agree with it. Sounds very good.
And if it's structured right,
it can been there, because when those young men came with ski masks and had guns, and it just wasn't right. It just wasn't. It made me feel like as an adult, I would never attend another. I don't care who graduates from there. I'll meet you at dinner. That's just how I just felt very
as you should. As
an adult. Like, why are ski masks and guns present at a event? And it could have been handled a little better than that. You could tell it's kids from the neighborhood that don't respect the graduation.
Right.
Don't respect who's all there. Don't respect the elders.
So next year,
you could tell these are that type of
So next year,
like it was just not good.
So next year, what we'll do, we'll emphasize on the problems that we've seen. We'll have more security. We'll hire a detail. We'll have Cincinnati police in certain areas so kids can't come up with ski masks and guns. We'll have it where they won't be able to. Well, y'all already didn't pass the smoke weed how you feel like it shit. And I told you that was a dumbass idea, but that's fine. But you already have it. You already have it set up where those obstacles that you ran into the first year won't come up again. It take time.
Yeah, I do believe in revision. I do believe in
Absolutely.
revision, but I just think it should be more secure for the families attending.
I
Plus,
agree.
the graduates. I think that should just be one day that we celebrate their achievement of whatever they had to go through, the obstacles, because apparently everybody that goes to that school has something that they're dealing with. So that's even more why you want to keep it safe and keep the focus on them, because you want them to get to the next level.
Right. I agree.
It's just that's not the end. High school is not the end.
Well, let me just say this. This is not the only graduation that we seen last year that had issues. I seen a school. I played the video here on camera. I mean, on the show of a shooting that happened in a school in like Memphis at the graduation.
I saw that.
And that was in a well-respected area. And it wasn't in the neighborhood. It was out at the school campus, and it was an outdoor event. So this shooting and acting a fool stuff can happen anywhere and everywhere. So that's one of the things.
Definitely can.
So what we got to do is we got to understand that to do it in the neighborhood of is not necessarily a bad idea. I just think you have to make sure that you facilitate it the right way and still get your message across to the people in the neighborhood of you can be successful here at this school no matter what you're going through.
Yeah, that's true. That's
true.
I agree. I agree with revision, and if they need to redo, but that wasn't it. I can tell you that what they did, that just wasn't.
Okay.
That wasn't it. And it is what it is. But I don't know why a person would promote Cincinnati Public. Don is better than Cincinnati Public unless they have the behaviors and the issues and things like that to go into a school like that. If your child is not suffering.
My bad.
Sorry.
Let me just say this. When it came to that, I did make a comment on the post. And my comment, I don't remember verbatim what I said, but it was in this nature. I said, I don't know if the school is better. I would like to see the proficiency levels, graduation levels, and vocational transfer. If they're going from this school to a vocational school or college, I'd like to see what those numbers look like before I say one is better than the other. Because they're saying what they were basically saying is y'all paying all this money for kids to go to Cincinnati Public School, but here's the price of it costs to go to Don's. Here's the price that it costs to go to Cincinnati Public School, and Cincinnati Public School ain't giving us nothing. And see, I don't know if I agree unless I see the numbers. See, I can't just say that Don's is better. I can't say the CPS is not as good as that. All I'm saying that got me started on this conversation in the first place is the same people that say school choice is bad. I say, why do you say that? Because whenever it's not Cincinnati Public Schools, it's public schools across this country. If they don't have any competition, then they don't have to be the best that they can be for the kids. Not for themselves, but for the kids. So why are you afraid of kids saying or parents saying, hey, if we can't get the best out of these schools, we're going to take our tax-paying dollars somewhere else. I don't understand that. So that was the only reason why I brought up the conversation.
Okay.
All right,
okay.
sis.
Well, good speaking with you, brother.
Talk to you soon. I appreciate y'all. You feeling better?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm almost done with physical therapy, almost done with occupational therapy, and I start back working this weekend. So everything's going great.
None but love. I'm glad you're making it through
None but love.
I appreciate
Thank you, sir, and I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you later. That's Alethea. Y'all know she gonna bring it. She gonna say some things. I think we on the same page. I don't think that she means anything bad. I don't think that she's trying to be. I understand what she's saying. Plus, she was there. She's seen grandparents being disrespected, nowhere to sit. It was hot outside. She's seen the ugly. I didn't see the ugly. I didn't see all of it. I heard more about it. But I also have to say, out of all the graduations this particular school did over the 20 years, to have one graduation that was bad. It shouldn't speak for the entire school. It doesn't define the school because they had one bad graduation setting. And I see the message. I have no problem. Bringing the success to the neighborhood. It makes it can encourage other kids, or it can encourage other people to get involved. And that's just what I see out of it. What was that thing I was going to show you guys? I think it was the Dear Steve Harvey. I think this is a good one to kind of go out on. Let me see if I can find it. I had it up, but I brought up the other video. I just want to show you this one before we get out of here. Maybe I'm pretty sure we'll talk about this tomorrow. But what I want to do is I want to get the ball rolling. Maybe some people will watch this video and want to come back tomorrow. If not, I'll talk to the 4 people we started with. Started with 4. Now we got a few more. No big deal. Let me see. Where is this video? Ladies, y'all better hit the share right now. Fellas, y'all better hit the share right now. I got the 2 chaos agents. I got Dominique is going to love this video. She going to be mad. She going to be mad. But I think I got the people on here right now that need to see this video who can give us their opinion. And then we'll have something to talk about tomorrow. This video right here is a young brother, not in a comedy club, but he's in a club like at a when they give poems. And he named his poem Dear Steve Harvey. Now, before you leave and think this is another Steve Harvey breakdown and coon moment and all that old, Cat Williams thing, it's not. This is a thing about relationships and, that type of stuff. So this is what I think will be cool about tomorrow when we jump in on this. And we got some faces in the building right now that might be able to bring. I know they're going to do their homework. They're going to study. They're going to come with percentages. They're going to know everything by tomorrow. Google a bad boy. Google will prepare you whether you didn't Google some bullshit or not. Google got you ready to argue. Anyway, this is this young brother, and he calls it Dear Steve Harvey. Check it out. Tell me if you agree or disagree.
Dear Steve Harvey, ever since you told women to act like a lady and think like a man, I've been seeing more women take their own trash out. Reposting Justin Lil Boy and how they don't need a man, but got their cash up in the bio asking for a handout. I mean, you say you want a man, but you ain't doing nothing to stand out. Remember, Gene, y'all rather take the Tommy and Pam route. I mean, you say you want a man, but you just want an enabler that's going to tell you right in every situation. You want a traditional man to pay your traditional rent, but you got a modern day attitude in a modern generation. It don't work like that. And half the men you talk to ain't got jobs and don't work like that. I mean, you say you want a provider, but all you got to bring to the table is baggage, and it's okay as long as it's a Birkin bag. Talking about how with the right man, you naturally gonna submit. Man, you got a reality TV show attitude. Ain't no man gonna deal with that shit. But I guess Derek Jackson told you your worth. You held on to every word when he spoke on your hurt. Every post he made, you reposted it first. I don't know what's worse, him cheating on his wife or you following him after he praised her, then he made her feel insecure. But I guess Kevin Samuels can't be taken seriously. I mean, how you want a high value man when your value is low spiritually? I mean, I guess the ace in the metaphor is a man telling you right because that's the only time you listening. I mean, you say you want a man, but you bash men every time men are being mentioned. You be listening to Steve Harvey. Man, that man cheated on his wife with his mistress, married his mistress and has kids with his daughter, jumped from one relationship to the next with no intention. So all that relationship advice you be listening to about love, he should have given to his children. The only time you want equality is when it's beneficial to your agenda. Love, this ain't a poem, this is an intervention. She be talking about how her grandfather took care of her grandmother. Well, that's that grown man's business, and the woman that your grandmother is doesn't correlate to the woman that's being mentioned. Stop acting like you don't want hookah drinks and a good night. A nightcap with your night bag while getting hit from behind. She gonna go for brunch and mimosas. Trust me, it works every time. She gonna be yelling out the window how she outside and she fuck nigga free, but she want a husband in the same line. Love, when the family feuds in real life, it ain't a game show. And if love don't cost a thing, how come you keep asking for things you can't even bring to the table? Poem.
Yeah, we're gonna deal with that one tomorrow. I'm gonna show it again on tomorrow's show. And I got a couple other videos that pray into this. It's going for the men and the women. And my question is, what is it that women really want from a man? And you know, how can we work this out? How can we get where men are providing for women and women providing for men? I think we have a disconnect. And I think some of the videos we show tomorrow will kind of show we'll be able to put all this together. So tomorrow at 1 p.m., we're going to have a conversation on what you just heard. Peace and love to everybody. That's my time. See y'all tomorrow.
Don't you stand there for me, don't you stand there for me, don't you stand there for me, black and teardrop.
Hey. Why would I ever trip on my spot when I earned it? Y'all lacking discernment. They probably gonna talk about tonight at the next sermon. Difference is you do it on purpose, and me, I do it for a purpose. Just know as long as I'm up, that it's never your turn in. Look, they must have forgot that I'm my daddy's son. And if I'm after them, they have to run. Okay, you had a run. Difference is we the ones that run it. Discipline is the difference between who got it and who won it. They rather count me out than count me in. Always count on me, y'all boys counterfeit. Ain't rolling with the punches, boy, I counted it. Y'all really judging me and I can't honor it. See, I was born in the ashes, so of course I rise. I'm in that state of mind for real, y'all just borderline. I wake up to look inside my daughter's eyes and realize I'm immortalized. Born in the ashes, so of course I rise.
It's diamonds on my gold.
They must have forgot that I'm my daddy's son. We the ones that run it. Born in the ashes, so of course I rise.
It's diamonds on my gold.
They must have forgot that I'm my daddy's son.
Fighting for my life.
We the ones that run it.
Yeah, I've been under fire so long, but he made a shine out of cold. It's diamonds on my gold. Loyalty take a toll on my soul, but I can't fold. Red snow made my heart cold. Up close on his clothes like I'm trying to scan a barcode. Demon hit the gas pipe, sound like pop smoke. I wasn't nervous or nothing, I seen it locked in on. Come from where a hot stove can heat up your house cold. Came back to back over head of his household. Pack chrome, still face, they all say he act grown. Survivors of a tap phone, build up his backbone. You gotta know the trap code, don't call to the pack dome. Fighting for my life, refuse to end up a sad song. Yeah. Fighting for my life, refuse to end up a sad song. Yeah. Start.
Who's still here? Nah, I'm really gone this time, y'all. I was just playing. I'm just having a good time. See you tomorrow, 1 o'clock.
Peace, quiet, and good order will be maintained in our city to the best of our ability. Riots, melees, and disturbances of the peace are against the interest of all our people, and therefore cannot be permitted.
The jury found that they were all not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty.
There's a series of fires, a lot of looting is going on, a disaster area, obviously.
The jury found that they were all not guilty, not
Make
guilty.
it rough.
A lot of activity continues here in the West Coast.
Make it rough.
We have sporadic fires throughout the city of Los Angeles.
Not guilty, the guilty devils try to kill me. When the news get to the hood, the niggas will be hotter than cayenne pepper. Bus, picking up dust is a must. I can't trust a cracker in a blue uniform. Stick a nigga like a unicorn. Born wicked, Lawrence, pow, foul. Turn his fucking throat and I smile. Go to Simi Valley and surely somebody knows the address of the jewelry. Pay a little visit. Who is it? Can I talk to the Grand Wizard? Then boom, make him eat the barrel. Modern day Pharaoh. Now he's zipped up like leather Tuscadero. Pretty soon we'll catch Sergeant Coon. Shoot him in the face, run up in him with a broom. Stick, break, devils ain't shit. Introduce his ass to the AK-40 dick. 2 days niggas laid in the cut. To get some respect we had to tear this motherfucker up. I got a top computer. I told you it would happen and you heard it, read it. But all you can call me was anti-Semitic. Regret it, nope, said it, yep. Listen to my big black boots as I step. Niggas had to break you off something, give push a push. But your National Guard ain't hard. You had to get Rodney to stop me, cause you know what? We would've told this motherfucker up. Make it rough. Hey, Muggs, make it rough. It's on, gone with the wind, and I know white men can't dump. Now I'm still in butts and a cake from Betty Crocker. Over Wettenbacher, don't buck with the black on stores, but hit the Foot Locker still. Motherfuck fire, Marshall Bill. Oh, what the hell, throw the cocktail, I smell smoke. Got the fuck out, Ice Cube luck out. My nigga had us struck out, didn't get stuck out. In front of that store with the Nikes and Adidas, oh Jesus. Western surplus, got the heaters, meet us, so we can get the nines and the whatnots. Got the Moss third with the double I buckshot, ready for Darrow. And like Beretta would say, keep your eye on the barrel. A sparrow, don't do the crime if you can't do the time, but I'm rolling. So that's a fucked up slogan. The Hogans, heroes, spotted the gorilla by the sizzler. Hitting up police killer, the super duper nigga that a buck. We had to tear this motherfucker up, so what the fuck? Make it rough. Yo, Muggs, make it rough. Make it rough. Enough.
Not guilty verdicts for Stacey Kuhn, Lawrence Powell, Timothy Wind, and Theodore Bersenio, the 4 officers accused of beating motorist Rodney King.